welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The President of the Republic receives a high-level delegation from Sudan. And on the international scene, the UN calls for an unanimous ceasefire in Sudan. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, in a speech made as usual at the advent of the blessed month of Ramadan, expressed his warm congratulations and his best wishes to all his citizens. I send you, wherever you are, the most sincere congratulations from the bottom of my heart and the best wishes on the occasion of the arrival of Ramadan, declared the head of state in this regard. The month of Ramadan is the most honorable month in the eyes of Allah, the month of mercy, forgiveness, and the redemption of the fire, in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity. In his speech, recalled the head of state, he then prayed to Almighty God to grant His light and grace to our people for the purposes of a successful Ramadan, synonymous with a fast accomplished in optimal piety and total allegiance to the precepts of our holy region, of which the values of love, fraternity, compassion, and generosity, the glorious and spiritual atmosphere which surrounds the blessed month of Ramadan, also offers our nation a golden opportunity for the promotion of its cohesion and solidarity, noted the President of the Republic. The head of state therefore highlighted the established vocation of Ramadan to work to strengthen the determination of our people to address national issues with a spirit filled with love for the country and a sincere desire to elevating its statue, prioritizing its development and prosperity above all other considerations. President Guelleh also took the opportunity of this wish to reiterate his faith in the capacity of our country to cover all the needs inherent to the well-being and progress of its fellow citizens, and thus called on all his citizens to redouble efforts towards national development. In his wish speech to the nation at the advent of Ramadan, the head of state also had a thought of our brothers and sisters of Gaza, victims before the eyes of the whole world, of atrocities, massacres, and of the most heinous crime known in the history of humanity. We pray to the Creator, the Almighty, to reward their bravery and sacrifices, and to grant them deliverance and glory through the reconquest of their inalienable right to dispose of the land of their ancestors, implored President Ismail Omar Guelleh. The head of state closed his speech by reiterating his best wishes to all Djiboutians as well as to all Muslims around the world. The President of the Republic, current President of IGAD, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this Sunday late morning at the Palace of the Republic the President of the African Union High Panel for Sudan, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Shambas. Mr. Mohammed Ibn Shambas' trip to Djibouti relates to a mission to listen, provide information, and popularize the leaders of countries in the region on the African Union's peace plan for the benefit of Sudan, the scene of a fratricidal conflict. The audience with President Guelleh, current President of IGAD, served for the Pan-African diplomat as a framework for exchange on the ways and means, allowing greater coordination of distinct initiatives carried out on a regional and continental scale, international and multilateral, for the benefit of the restoration of peace in Sudan. The interviews highlighted a convergence of views on the need to call on the protagonists of the Sudanese crisis to ratify a truce in hostilities during the blessed month of Ramadan. The discussions also allowed the two parties to agree on the relevance linked to the launch, still with the belligerents of the conflict in Sudan, of an integrated pleading based on the principle of an extension of the truth in fighting to be observed during the Ramadan, called for a definitive ceasefire, a prelude to political talks in the establishment of a civilian government as at the head of Sudan. During his audience with President Guelleh, current President of IGAD, Mr. Mohammed Ibn Shambas, was accompanied by members of the African Union High Panel for Sudan. On the Djiboutian side, in addition to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Republic of Sudan, Mr. Isa Khair Roble, took part in this meeting. Note the presence also at this audience of the diplomatic advisor to the head of state, Mrs. Fathiya Jamal Udun. Let's listen now to the head of the African Union High Panelist for Sudan.
Well, we want to express our appreciation, our gratitude to President Guelleh for receiving us. This is the African Union High-Level Panel on Sudan, and we have come to brief the President, but especially in his capacity also as Chairman of IGAD. We are all preoccupied by the situation in Sudan, what is going on there, the continuing fighting among the Sudanese, especially the armed forces of Sudan and the RSF, which is bringing untold suffering to the people of Sudan. Today, the situation in Sudan is the worst humanitarian situation in the world, with 10 million Sudanese internally displaced, another 2 million who are refugees. And this is an issue which we know IGAD has been working very hard to tackle, and President Gele personally has been very committed to work with Sudanese to bring about a ceasefire and also to see to the immediate addressing of the humanitarian situation. The African Union High-Level Panel is pledging to work very closely with IGAD also to start a political process involving all Sudanese so that we can foster, we can encourage Sudanese dialogue to come up with a lasting solution to the Sudanese crisis. We can find a political solution to re-establish civilian democratic governance of Sudan. This should be the basis of a future Sudan. The role of civilians in this process is crucial, and we are going to work very closely with IGAD, of course, and Djibouti, which is chair of IGAD, and we are very happy to be here for these very high-level consultations, and we are very pleased with the discussions that we have had with the chair of IGAD, His Excellency President Gule.
On the day of March 9, 2024, a special ceremony of consultation, preparation, and invocation took place at Camp Sheikh Usman, under the presidency of the Minister of Defense in charge of relations with Parliament, Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed Burhan, and the Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim. The solemn meeting was organized in anticipation of the imminent arrival of the blessed month of Ramadan. This meeting brought together the highest military officials and religious dignitaries. It was an opportunity for participants to discuss the measures to be taken to guarantee a peaceful and enriching month of Ramadan for all members of the armed forces as well as the people of Djibouti. The Minister of Defense and the Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces both expressed their commitment to ensuring that all soldiers can observe Ramadan in conducive conditions, benefiting from adequate logistical support and preserving their freedom of religious practices. Discussions also focused on the organizations of working hours, meals, and prayers during the month of fasting, as well as raising awareness of the importance of mutual respect and solidarity within the armed forces. The ceremony concluded with special invocations, asking God to bring peace, prosperity, and protection to the entire nation during the month of Ramadan and beyond.
وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بارك لنا في مدينتنا، اللهم بارك لنا في مدنا، اللهم بارك لنا في ثمرنا، اللهم بارك لنا في ساعنا، اللهم بارك لنا في مدينتنا، اللهم بارك لنا في مدنا، اللهم بارك لنا في ثمرنا، اللهم بارك لنا في ساعنا يا رب العالمين، يا رب العالمين، يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم اهد نساءنا، اللهم اهد بناتنا، اللهم اهد شيوخنا، اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الاحياء منهم والاموات عنا برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم بارك في شهر رمضان المقبل يا رب العالمين، يا رب العالمين. رب اغفر وانت خير الراحمين، ولا حول ولا قوه الا بالله العلي العظيم يا ارحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربك.
The director of the RTD, Mr. Adan Abdi Jama', spoke on the benefits of this month, and I quote, "The holy month of Ramadan, which is fast approaching, brings with it immeasurable blessings and an extraordinary opportunity for spiritual purification. It is a time," he added, "when we turn to introspection, compassion, and solidarity, strengthening the bonds that unite our nation." As such, he said, Ramadan offers us the opportunity to recharge our spiritual batteries, deepen our relationship with God, and reaffirm our commitment to piety, generosity, and sharing. Through daily fasting, we learn to emphasize discipline, practice, and gratitude. We also feel the suffering of the less fortunate. It is a good time, he stressed, to strengthen family ties and friendships, sharing meals as a group, nightly prayers, and acts of charity, strengthen our social bonds, and remind us of the value of unity in diversity. In this blessed month, he concluded, we must take the time to meditate on the profound teachings of Ramadan, to dedicate our thoughts to peace, compassion, and reconciliation. May we seize the opportunity to cultivate self-control, benevolence towards others, and love for our homeland. In anticipation of the holy month of Ramadan, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, today presided over the solemn inauguration of a new mosque, the late Al-Hajj Hassan Guled Abtidon at the Mauritanian military camp. This significant event testifies to the ongoing commitment to promoting the values of tolerance and unity within Djiboutian armed forces. Following the troop review, the inauguration ceremony was marked by the presentation of the head of the Department of Arabic and Religious Affairs, Captain Muhammad Amin Muhammad, and the religious dignitary who spoke in turn about the importance that places of worship play in the spiritual and social life of individuals.
bisha soon sideedaba isareedo wacan tahay ilaahana sadeer tahay suuradaha quraan ku sifeeyey eebe alla sooma rabadaan waa samafal khayrle alla sooma rabadaan alla sooma rabadaan alla sooma rabadaan Allah soma Ramadan, Allah soma Ramadan, Allah soma Ramadan.
إله دبّي قداف دبّي قوارث في إله داف إله نون حريص إله حنا يسر الله بركة إله عمل كان الله بركة إله رزق الله بركة إله عمر كان الله بركة إله عدو كان نجد دبّار إله عدو كان بغض نجد دبّار عدو قصور نجد دبّار كورا كان مفير إله نجد دبّار إله ديا نجفل نجد جوج يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة في الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا محروما وتفرقا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا معنا شقيا مذموما ولا محروما يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم من أحسن فأحسن حسانه، اللهم من أنفق فأنفق ماله يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة في الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. صلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربك.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا Muhammad. Moreover, less than 24 hours before the start of the blessed month of Ramadan, the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism, in close collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce, held a meeting this morning to discuss the prices of essential foodstuffs. Under the chairmanship of the Ministry of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohammed Warsama, the meeting brought together the President of the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti, Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali, as well as importers of basic necessities and exteriors of the Ministry of Trade. The purpose of this meeting was to discuss the importance of respecting the prices set by the Department of Commerce for foodstuffs. This meeting takes place in a context where many countries are facing economic and social challenges exacerbated by COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Commerce and Tourism, in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce, will continue to closely monitor food prices and take the necessary measures to ensure their accessibility. It is essential that imposters and industry players respect the prices set by the Department of Commerce in order to preserve economic stability and meet the needs of the population. As the blessed month of Ramadan begins, it is important to remember that solidarity and generosity are fundamental values of this period. By maintaining affordable prices for basic food items, we can help create an environment conducive to spiritual practices and solidarity among community members. In his speech, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohammed Warsama, stressed the importance of maintaining affordable prices for essential foodstuffs. He stressed that respecting these prices was essential to ensure access to adequate food for all citizens. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble, received in his office Mr. Ambassador of Qatar in Djibouti, Dr. Rashid bin Shafia Al Mari, this Thursday, March 7, 2024, at the Ministry of Health to discuss cooperation between two friendly and brotherly countries. The meeting was the occasion for the signing of an MOU between the Ministry of Health and Qatar Charity to reinforce dialysis equipment and machines and level 3 health structures. The MOU was signed by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Mr. Mohammed Ali Mohammed, and the Director of Qatar Charity's Office, Mrs. Ghada Izzeddin Ahmed. The ceremony took place in the presence of the Senior Advisor, Mr. Abdelghader Mohammed Garad. The tour of the Ministry of Energy in charge of natural resources first began with a visit to the mini photovoltaic solar power plant installed in the locality of Adailu, where he was warmly welcomed by the Prefect, Mr. Muhammad Abbas, by the President of the Tajora Regional Council, Mr. Umar Hussein Umar, and by the Deputy issuing the region, Mr. Ali Kamil Ali, by the civil and military authorities, as well as by the inhabitants of the village. The objective of this visit was for Minister Yunus Ali Gedi to see firsthand the mini photovoltaic solar power plant in this village, which includes more than 200 photovoltaic solar panels with an energy capacity of 100 kilowatts, which had experienced a battery failure since some time. During the meeting with the representative of the population of Adailu, the ministry indicated that on the instructions of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, the problems inherent in the mini photovoltaic solar power plant of Adailu will be resolved quickly by the engineers of his ministerial department, that the energy production capacity of the energy infrastructure will be increased, that additional premises will be built to secure the equipment and materials used, and that all houses in Adailu will be connected to electricity free of charge. The ministerial delegation then headed off to the village of Dugum to inaugurate and commission the solar powered plant refrigerated container installed there with the technical and financial support from the International Solar Alliance. With a capacity of 3 kilowatts and battery autonomy of over 10 hours, this refrigerated room, which is now available to the people of Dugum, will be used to the conservation and cold storage of over 2 tons of domestic products, such as milk, cheese, fruits and vegetables, and meat, and etc., and will provide fresh water to the population of this remote locality, especially during the summer months, In a speech delivered on this occasion, Minister Yunus Ali Gede immediately asked the members of the management committee to set up and maintain and preserve the refrigerated container, which will benefit the local population. As part of the Integrated Urban Development Program 2, the Djiboutian Agency for Social Development (ADDS) organized this morning at the Rahma Complex a driving license award ceremony to 72 young people from Balbala, a project financed by the French Development Agency (AFD). This is the Integrated Urban Development Program, a set of financing license intended for the resolution of priority investments. This program intervenes in different sectors and includes environmental and management and monitoring framework, improvement of road infrastructure, development of social collective equipment, extension of drinking water and electricity networks. The Director of Social Development at ADDS recalled that the license award ceremony is crucial, a means and moment to celebrate together the fruit of hard work and perseverance of these young people who have devoted many hours to learning. The ceremony took place in the presence of the President of the Commune of Balbala. The Union of the Francophone Press in Djibouti organized today the 8th edition of the Press Prize at the Sheraton Hotel. 4 journalists were awarded and received various awards. This ceremony took place in the presence of the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Hu Bin, the President of EPF Djibouti, Mr. Kennedy Ibrahim Hussein, and numerous professionals from the written, individual, and press media online. Over time, the Press Prize has become an annual event to reward the best communicators in the fields of written, audiovisual, and also online press. First prize went to Mr. Abdulrazak Ibrahim Ali, an outstanding host from Radio Television of Djibouti. He has long hosted a program for children, which is very popular and attracts a large audience. This Friday afternoon, as part of Djibouti's worldwide celebration of Human Rights Day, the Ministry of Youth and Culture, in close collaboration with the Djibouti Football Federation, especially the Women's Football Commission, organized a Day of Grace and Grandeur entitled Grassroots for the benefits of young girls from the various CDCs. It was an opportunity to, like no other, to give the girls the chance to blossom on the playing fields of the sports complex reserved for leisure and female education, and also to enable the community to detect young talent. On the morning of Thursday, March 7, 2024, at 10:30 a.m., a solemn handover ceremony took place at the sub-prefecture of Khor Angar, a port town in the Republic of Djibouti, located in the north of the country, close to Ras Sayan, opposite. The handover was organized in collaboration with the sub-prefecture of Obokh. The event marked the departure of the outgoing sub-prefect, Mr. Muhammad Ali Umar, and the inauguration of his successor, Mr. Ali Hamad Ali. Under the direction of the prefect of the Obokh region, Mr. Musa Adam Migani, the handover took place in accordance with the service note number 4 of February 4th, 2024, issued by the Ministry of the Interior, dealing with the permutation of sub-prefecture. Warmly welcomed by the sub-prefecture's traditional chiefs, the two men officially sealed the transition by signing the handover documents. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, the United Nations Security Council on Friday called on the people in the crisis of Sudan to observe a ceasefire ahead of the holy month of Ramadan, due to begin on Monday, tomorrow. The resolution supported by the United Kingdom was adopted by 14 members. Only Russia abstained. A peaceful solution has become necessary as the conflict drags on. According to the United Nations Humanitarian Office, 8.3 million people have been displaced. Sudan has been plunged into chaos since April 2023. General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan's army and General Hamdan Dagulo's parliamentary officers are fighting to power. Antonio Guterres warned on Thursday of the threat to the country's unity. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening and Ramadan Kareem.